Got this BXA quick change tool post. It's a Bostar. I'm just gonna. I already opened it. Gonna unbox it, show you what it's like. These are the two extras. I got the. I think it's like a 7-piece kit. So it came with these two XL holders, which will hold up to 3/4 inch tools. Got this is a knurling combination, and you can put a tool in here. Looks like how big this is. It is 5/8, so it doubles as a knurl, or which I probably won't use that, but I might use that end. And then here's the big box. Bunch of holders. This is the post here. Here. This is a boring bar holder. Cut off. I measured this. It looks like it's a 11/16. And these are just the standard ones. These are 5/8. Probably they're a little bit bigger than 5/8, but 5/8 tools or less. Same. Tool post. Which when you get one of these, I mean, I expected it to be big. I mean, obviously, but you don't realize how big these are. Until you get one in your hand. 'Cause I have a turret mount on my lathe, and this thing is, it's way bigger than that thing. I mean, this thing is stout. And I tell you, machining on these looks pretty darn nice. And this is like very smooth. Obviously, it might be different when I put a tool in there, but I mean, it feels quite nice. And here's the handle, because it comes with this on so it doesn't get scratched. Nice big fat handle, flat. Now here I'm over at the lathe here. This is a 13x40. It's an MSC, just for reference, so you can get an idea what kind of lathe this is. Single phase. Let me zoom in on this now. This I have a. This is my turret post that's on there. And that's the one that came with the lathe, of course. And there is a 3/4 inch tool in there. I'm only doing this just because I'm fascinated how big this is. Now, I measured it, and it'll work. I'll be able to use 3/4 tools just like I got this 3/4 one in there now. But I just was fascinated how big this is. Now, yeah, granted, it is about the same size as the turret, but this is like a solid chunk of metal. I mean, this thing, you know, this is just like the inside, because you know you could put tools on each side of it. But I was just amazed at how. I mean, I don't know what this weighs, but it's damn heavy. It's a pretty stout piece here. It's, like I said, it's really machined nice. Now I'm gonna have to machine this T-nut, which is nice and thick. I mean, obviously it wouldn't be a benefit for somebody that didn't have a mill, because you know then that's going to be a lot more extra work, I guess, than something that was more fitting. But you know, you got to start somewhere, and starting too big is what you want. One thing about this I noticed, I was worried about, well, I'm going to end up with maybe the bolt going through the thing too far and hitting the compound, but when they make this, they thread a shoulder on here, or there's a shoulder on here, so it stops, and it's maybe 30 thousandths up inside there. So, I mean, if you end up, I mean, if you leave this thickness and just machine it this way, then you don't have to worry about that coming through there and hit the bottom, which is nice. One thing I noticed I think I was watching another review of these, and they were always complaining about these screws. Now, these don't look like those ones that they had in some of the other brands. Some of them have that like extra long non-threaded part down here that's probably maybe the width of this wrench. These are just, you know, basically, these are cup set screws. And I tell you what, this wrench fits perfect. It's a metric wrench, and these screws, there ain't no slop in these screws. I mean, maybe I can report back later on these, but they seem quite, and there's a little bit of oil in there. These parts don't have a bunch of oil on them, but they're not corroded in any way. They're just pretty dry. I mean, I took this and wiped it off, but I mean, I didn't do much of it. But so that's good. But yeah, these screws seems a nice deep. This goes in pretty far. I mean, they're going down in there about that far. I'd say, I don't know, ½ inch. Pretty good. I'll have more on this later, you know, in case these do feel soft to me. I don't know. We'll see. Because obviously I don't have any experience with this just yet. I'm going to put this 3/4 inch tool in here. I just went ahead and did a preliminary centering of this. I was just using my tailstock in a dead center just to match up the points. And it's basically the same shim I had, or basically the same height. Once I bottomed this holder out, it's up about, well, it's about 60 thousandths. So it's 60 thousandths up. It could go 60 thousandths further down, but I mean, obviously I don't care about that. Just wanted to make sure it would fit with this 3/4 inch holder, and it does. So, and I tightened it down, and these screws actually, I mean, they seem all right. I mean, I know a lot of people complain about these, but like again, these don't look like the same ones as all those other ones with those extra pieces of like dog leg looking things. I did tighten this. Probably want to tighten that shaft up because it was a little bit loose. This main shaft, I tightened it up before I started adjusting this. So yeah, it seems like it works pretty good. Everything seems nice and smooth. Again, after some use, you know, who knows? You know, I mean, you find different things out when you use things, you know, when something's new, you know, something might look like, oh, it's going to be a problem, and then, you know, it could be nothing. You know, something you were nitpicking about, and it might not be nothing. Then the things that you didn't see might become an issue. But obviously right now it seems pretty nice to me. One more odd thing, I see people, they take this nut off and they make a handle for it, which I could see that coming in handy. Well, the one on my turret tool post, this is odd. I mean, it's the right threads even. I mean, now granted, it's not going to go down far enough. I need a shim, so I'll just shim it. Figure out where I want this handle when I shim it, so it stays in, you know, stays out of my way. But that is pretty good. That worked out pretty nice. Oddly, I just happened to look over at my turret, and it had a spacer on it. Now, granted, this probably isn't going to work, but it's kind of cool that it actually is about exactly the same space I needed. Yeah, that's not going to be good, but I mean, I guess I could just turn it down a little bit, because it's not going to hurt anything on the turret if I decide to use the turret again for some reason. So, I don't know. Just check yours. I mean, you never know. If you have a turret on there, it might end up being the same exact one, and you won't have to make a handle. So I just end up using a washer rather than that big spacer because there's a lot of threads in there, up in this thing. It's all tight. It worked out good. Thanks for watching.